I was half asleep when the sound of my phone dragged me out of a dreamless night. It was 2:04 a.m., the kind of hour where the world is silent and even the wind seems afraid to breathe. Still groggy, I reached under my pillow and unlocked the screen, thinking it was just a random notification. But the moment I read the message, sleep burned out of my eyes like fire. Dad, 2:04 a.m. Grab your sister and run. Don't trust your mother. The words didn't make sense at first. My heart stuttered, my breath stalled. Dad never messaged like that, never dramatic, never fearful. He was calm even during storms, the anchor of our home. Why would he tell us to run, and from all people, our mother? I stared at the screen for a full minute, hoping it would change, hoping I misread it. But the words stayed, sharp as a knife against my chest. My throat tightened. Something inside me whispered that this was not a prank, not a mistake. This was real. Without another second wasted, I swung my legs off the bed and hurried toward my sister's room. The wooden floor felt ice, cold under my feet. Every step echoed like a warning inside my skull. Sana lay curled under her blanket, hugging her stuffed rabbit the way she always did. Her little face was peaceful, untouched by the poison of reality. I gently shook her shoulder. "Sana," I whispered. "Wake up, we have to go." She blinked slowly, confused. "Go where? It's dark." I didn't have answers, only fear pushing me forward. "Just trust me," I murmured, grabbing her sweater and stuffing clothes, water, and Dad's old jacket into a bag. My hands trembled so badly, I fumbled the zipper twice. The house felt wrong, like the walls had begun watching us. Then I heard footsteps, light ones, soft but deliberate. I peeked through the slightly opened bedroom door and saw her, our mother, standing in the hallway, staring at her phone. The dim light painted her face in shadows, calm yet unreadable. She wasn't sleeping, she knew. I held Sana closer, covering her mouth to keep her from gasping. If she saw us awake at that moment, everything would explode. I waited, heart pounding loud enough I feared she could hear it. After a few tense seconds, she turned and walked downstairs. I exhaled shakily, now or never. Hand in hand, we crept down the back staircase, avoiding every creaking spot we knew from years of living there. The kitchen door felt heavy as I pushed it open. Night hit us like a cold ocean, rain beginning to fall, wind slicing through our clothes. We ran, not knowing why, not knowing where, only running, because Dad said run, and I trusted him more than the blood running in my veins. The night we escaped, I thought the hardest part was over. I was wrong. Running was just the beginning, the silence afterward was the true monster. The world felt too big, too dark, and we were just two trembling souls swallowed by it. Dad's second message led us to a place I never knew existed. An old cabin near a lake we had never visited. By sunrise our feet were numb, clothes soaked from rain, but when the wooden structure came into view through the morning fog, I felt a strange pull, as if Dad had woven safety into its walls just for us. The key was exactly where he said, under the third stone by the door. He had planned this quietly, carefully, as if he always knew one day we might need to run not from strangers, but from family. Inside, the cabin smelled of old wood and forgotten memories. There were canned foods stacked neatly, blankets folded and beside the fireplace. A small metal trunk with Dad's name carved into it. I hesitated before opening it, afraid of what truth would look like. Sana stood behind me, eyes wide, clutching my sleeve. "Do you think he left this for us?" she whispered. "I think he left it for survival," I replied, though my voice cracked. Inside the trunk were documents, letters, medical papers too many to process in one breath. Pages filled with Dad's handwriting, shaky yet determined. I unfolded a letter labeled with my name. My vision blurred as I read the first line. "If you're reading this, it means your mother finally chose the path I feared. I didn't want you to know her darkest side, but you deserve the truth." My fingers trembled. Sana leaned closer, silent as snowfall. Dad wrote about their fights, whispers after midnight, slamming doors we thought were just storms of adulthood. But behind those walls were secrets sharp enough to slice a family apart. Mother had been meeting someone in secret for months. Money disappeared, business papers changed, friends stopped visiting. Dad noticed, but love blinded him longer than it should have. I stayed because of you and Sana, not because I trusted her. That line shattered something inside me. I suddenly remembered moments small, ignored. Mom arriving home late, makeup smudged. Dad sitting alone at dinner. Her forced smile during family photos. Maybe betrayal doesn't scream, it whispers until you finally listen. By noon, news broadcasts lit up every screen in the cabin. Mother stood outside our home, cameras flashing, her voice breaking dramatically. My children are missing. Please, if anyone sees them, bring them back. I'm desperate. But her eyes held no grief, only calculation. She wasn't searching for children, she was searching for control. And for the first time in my life, I realized the woman who raised us was the danger Dad warned us from. The third night in the cabin stretched like a lifetime. Every rustle of leaves sounded like footsteps. Every shadow outside the window felt like eyes searching for us. Sana cried in her sleep, whispering for Dad, while I sat awake clutching the phone that refused to ring again. Grief, confusion, anger, they all lived inside me now, fighting for space. Then at 3:07 a.m., the cabin door creaked. I froze, my heart stumbled painfully. Sana jolted awake, and we stared at the handle turning slowly, like death was about to walk in wearing familiar skin. But it wasn't death, it was Dad. He stepped inside like a ghost dragged back from war bruises mapping his body, one side of his shirt stained with dried blood. When I ran into him, his arms wrapped around us with a desperation I'd never seen before. Sana clung to his waist sobbing, and for a moment, the world felt whole again. But truth came like always quiet, heavy, undeniable. I tried to stop her. He whispered, voice rough like broken glass. She wants everything. The company, the house, the accounts. She even filed a report to declare me mentally unstable. Every word burned ugly inside my chest. Mother hadn't just betrayed him. She had planned to erase him completely. Dad sank into the old couch, wincing in pain as I brought water and bandages we found earlier. As I cleaned his wounds, he told us everything: how he overheard Mother and a man discussing forged signatures, how they bribed a doctor, how they tried to keep him sedated in a hospital under false claim of schizophrenia. He escaped only because a nurse, an old friend, slipped him out the back door. She wants power, he said, staring into the dying fire, and losing you both is the only thing she never accounted for. Silence filled the room like smoke. I looked at Sana, then back at him. Fear was still there, but something else was growing behind it, sharp, fierce, alive. Not hate, purpose. We're not running anymore, I said, surprising even myself. We have your documents, your recordings, your journals. She hid her plans in darkness. We'll drag them into the light. Dad's eyes shimmered, pride mixed with heartbreak. For the first time since the text message, I saw a spark of strength return to his voice. We expose her, I continued. Not with violence, with truth. Public, loud, undeniable. Sana nodded, wiping her tears. She was young, but betrayal ages children faster than time ever could. And so, inside that cabin surrounded by silence and ghosts of safety, we made a vow. We would return, not as lost children, but as the storm she never expected. The plan began quietly. No screaming, no confrontation, just truth waiting to ignite. We gathered every piece of evidence Dad hid over the years: forged signatures, bank transfers, secret recordings of Mother's meetings, even the doctor's false mental evaluation papers. And then we struck. The first wave was the media. One email attached with files, recordings, timelines sent to every major news network. No anonymity. Our names at the top like a match to dry gasoline. Within hours, headlines exploded. Businesswoman exposed in inheritance, fraud. Husband declared sane, kids found safe with father. False mental report under investigation. Mother's perfect world cracked like thin ice under heavy weight. Cameras swarmed her, not for sympathy, for truth. Reporters cornered her at the company's gates, microphones sharp as knives. Why did your husband flee? Why are there forged documents in your name? Where are your children now? She tried to smile. She always smiled through masks, but this time her voice shook. Eyes darted, excuses crumbled. For the first time, everyone saw the monster wearing pearls. We returned home with Dad not hiding, not afraid. Police escorted us for safety, but we walked through the front gate with heads high. Neighbors stared, whispering pity in their eyes, but no one dared approach her. The courtroom came next. She stood before us, mascara running, jaw tight, broken yet still pretending to control everything. When our evidence played across the screen, her phone calls, her signature on stolen account documents, the doctor admitting bribery, her shoulders collapsed like a burnt house falling in on itself. The judge's verdict fell hard. She lost the company, lost custody, lost her freedom. As guards led her away, she looked at us not angry, but shattered. "I loved you," she whispered. The words hung empty. Dad stepped forward first. "Love doesn't destroy," he said softly, "it protects." She reached toward us, trembling hands pleading for forgiveness that came too late. "I'm still your mother," she cried. This was the moment revenge tasted sweetest, not in her downfall, but in knowing we didn't need her to rise. I stepped closer, voice steady. "I forgive you." Her eyes widened, hope flickering, "But forgiveness doesn't restore what you broke. We're choosing peace, not your shadow." And for the first time she understood. We walked away not triumphant, but free. Revenge was not fire or fury. It was the quiet rebuilding of the life she tried to steal. In that freedom, sweetness bloomed where pain once lived. Now we live near the lake cabin, where truth saved us. We cook together, laugh often, sleep without fear. Sana smiles again. Dad heals slowly. Betrayal ended us once, but revenge rebuilt us better. We survived, we overcame, we won. The past buried, our future, finally our own.